Thank you so much for staying with us. You're still watching Signature Morning on Signature TV. Still on the case of Nnamdi Kanu. Just a few moments ago, we spoke with his lawyer, Aloy Ejimako. And now we have joining us via Zoom Dr. Ifedi Okwenna, who is the Executive Secretary, Southeast Business and Investment Summit Group, to give us more insights on his thoughts about Nnamdi Kanu's conviction. You're very much welcome. Good morning. Dr. Okwenna, kindly unmute your microphone so we can hear you properly.
Can you hear me?
Right,
Yeah,
I can hear you. I can hear
you.
you now. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, first of all, Dr. Okwenna, I would like to get your thoughts as, you know, a prominent Igbo intellectual and leader. How do you interpret this conviction of Nnamdi Kanu?
Well, I think I've made Nnamdi Kanu elevated him to another level because I, for one, I believe that the federal government ought to have two political options. Going to the extent of convicting Nnamdi Kanu is trying to make him an important, a very important matter. As if anything happened to him now. And he has elevated to a freedom fighter in the mode of Nelson Mandela. I rather see it from political angle. I agree that Nnamdi Kanu is suffering on behalf of all of us. But the most important thing is that this has made us to see a freedom fighter or somebody act for self-determination and being labeled a terrorist. And as a terrorist is convicted for life. It is an unfortunate development which nobody envisaged. Maybe as we have to look at it from the point of view of where the federal government is. In most cases, there's there's politics beyond politics of security, politics of business, politics of development. There are certain decisions you take at every particular point in time that the government ought to know, and the judiciary, on the other hand, ought to know before they take certain decisions. Well, I know technically it's going to be tough for other courts to turn this judgment around because the technical the victim of Nnamdi Kanu somehow played into their hand. I know for the case that the secretary laid down his case, the case as clear. We would have expected a lawyer like Kanu should be fully technical aspect to frustrate that case. But immediately it came to the point of relieving the lawyers of their services and trying to defend himself. And we got it wrong at that particular point in time. Because if somebody is against you, you know that person is against you. And when you know that court of second instance and the final court, you will have prepared those way that someone to show not disposed to give him fair and his team all to have prepared a second level and the final level. But unfortunately, that incident lost kind of like the use respect having the lecturer and the expressive, which I know which have allowed such a matter. But unfortunate as it is, the federal government must be sure that they want to develop Nigeria as it stands today. But it's an important point of Nigeria. Thank you.
All right, Dr. Ifedi, let's look at the legal strategy and appeal that Nnamdi Kanu is going for. How strong is his appeal, and what strategies might his lawyer also use in order to go forth with this appeal?
I just said earlier, a while ago, even a week, even though I'm not a lawyer, but I know that there are issues it's like not defending the case at the very well the court of first instance. And when that situation happened, the court of second instance or the Supreme Court may find to approve your case otherwise. And that's why I don't believe the best is that we must continue to pursue the political boundaries of Nigeria. Not the legal. I may not have faith in the appeal and subsequent appeal to the Supreme Court. So because that case is bad from first the first instance.
What about the position of the Southeast governors? Because it seems that throughout this whole saga, and since everything has been playing out, it seems we've not really heard from the Southeast governors, both individually and as a group. So what do you think about that, and where do you think that the Southeast governors stand in all of this?
Well, I think now the given have been given. It holds a lot of us from the service to come together and see how we can help Nnamdi. I know that some people believe in allowing the sharp process to get to this point, and that it would be pretty much of them to have come in at that particular point in time. Of course, some of them know we are doing some other grand lobby for this part, but there are politicians, and some of these politicians allow certain things to be. It doesn't mean that they aloof to it. They're not aloof. They know, official, they know very well that the sentence of Nnamdi will not be an approved for success. It's not going to be good for their governments because life will continue to be hard. And from the business point of view, like businessmen, we are losing billions and billions naira every single day. What is continues to. So the government is doing very well, and the government definitely do something. The leadership of the people will probably come up at this particular point in time, and then let's see how the people, like I say, the more the people.
All right, then let's look at the political impact and how this would actually affect the IPOB group. What will this sentencing mean for IPOB? Do you think it's going to galvanize support, or it will actually weaken the strength of the IPOBs?
Well, I don't think I'm not a member of IPOB. I may not hazard against, as it were. But when the leader of a group is imprisoned, two things are possible. The first one is that those groups may go underground and then become stronger and kinder. Believing that they have nothing to do again, their leader get an option. That's the immediate option. The other option that they may, of course, get another leader who may shape the direction of the struggle. Or in that way, the remote states is disapplied. So, but she said, I've shown that when a person, leader of a group, campaigning for either for free riders or self-detention application, and Kanu, some people don't easily give up. They are of the actualize the imprising or even cleaning the leadership don't change as much. So in the case of IPOB, I don't see it going on. The only thing is that as leaders in service and our businessmen in service, we move on all of us to continuously work and find the solution to solve this problem.
Now, looking at the court's treatment of this Kanu's case, I mean, listening earlier to his lawyer, Aloy, when he made mention of the judgment being more of a political thing than legal. So I want to know, are you of the same opinion? Do you see the same thing the way Barrister Aloy Ejimako saw it?
My sister, I told you that Kanu's defense was very weak. It is not so easy to judge the opportunity to apply political. Even being vindictive, he tried to defend himself. Not being a lawyer, he not handle certain things as care. And one thing with these judges is that they keep quiet, even when you're provoking them, provoking them. And they only manifest when they give judgment. That was what actually happened yesterday. They manifested his annoyance is of Kanu's carrying apparently affected the judgment. And like I said, because we did not pursue the technical order, and many, which I know these lawyers are competent, led by Nnamdi, who I so respect, and I know and good and the rest of them. I don't want to pursue technical order either to delay further that case or to try to stabilize. But unfortunately, we got exposed. Now they got exposed by the action. So it gave the opportunity to follow the line he followed.
All right then, Dr. Okwenna, thank you so much for joining. We'll go on a short break and we'll return. Just stay with us.
Now, before we went on that break, we were speaking with Dr. Ifedi Okwenna, still on Nnamdi Kanu's conviction. Now, Dr. Okwenna, before we pause that conversation, you were replying to a question I asked about the conviction being political as opposed to legal, from what Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer said this morning from our Abuja studio. So we weren't hearing you properly. So can you please repeat yourself?
Okay. I said, what I said actually was that the mood of the judge at any particular point in time sometimes affect judgment. Immediately, Nnamdi Kanu took over his defense directly himself. It became very clear that there was an affront. The judge felt not comfortable with that situation. And if you have watched those proceedings, you will have seen some altercations in between. And most judges will keep quiet and wait to the judgment date. And I think that was what really happened. He wasn't really looking at legal options. He was not even looking at the ways the case was. Of course, the prosecutor has laid down his case. I don't think Nnamdi Kanu did argue his case excellently. And he thereby exposing the judge to using whatever he wants to give the judgment. Of course, he has to bend down to political consideration, has to bend down to emotional consideration, he has to bend down to the personal animosity or personal view, the way he viewed the whole situation. Because there was no legal argument propagated on both sides. That was why I say the time Nnamdi Kanu lost Kanu Agadi was a time actually the case got to some weaker point. Because what I personally do, I'm a lawyer, what I expected was standing on the side of technicality to either delay further that case or to not grant that case while the legal option continues. But immediately, the lawyers were eased out by Nnamdi Kanu, and he took over his defense personally. The case was exposed. He became more exposed. And I think basically that was all. And then that emotion came in, and then that politics came in, and that was the judgment.
All right, doctor. Are there concerns about fair trial in this case? I'm talking about given the fact that his trial dragged for 10 whole years and also with various judges.
Pardon, let me get you clear.
I'm asking, from the human rights concerns, are there actual concerns about fair trial, given that he has been in trial for about 10 years now, and it's not just one judge, that we've had like various judges on this particular case?
But nobody is talking about fair trial now because the trial couldn't have been fair if you have detained somebody and kept that person on trial for a very long time before the judgment is just being given yesterday. Judgment delayed is justice delayed is justice denied. That's a normal euphemism. They delayed this, they incarcerated him, they dismembered him, they stripped him naked, they got him emotionally disorganized, and then they got him to not, his comportment was affected. And then technically and legally he made some mistakes. Of course, that was what they were looking for. And they got it. And immediately they got it, they used it to name him. So I think on the human rights angle, it's very, very unfortunate that they have to try that case for this length of time. And they got what they want. They got it by disorganizing and dismembering Nnamdi Kanu to be able to use it to nail him.
Given that the court has labeled Kanu as an international terrorist, what do you foresee as, the security implications of all of this? Do you think that this sentence could provoke a greater unrest, or, serve, or on the other hand, serve as a deterrent to this separatist agitation? What do you think will be the effect on the security situation in the Southeast?
I think it's called for all of us. The effect will be ominous. Of course, we know that. And all we need at this point is for us to really understand that solution must be found to this. And we cannot take it from the face value of it. Nobody will say there will be no side effect. There's no negative effect. There's no impact. There should be reaction. There are bound to be reaction. But the way we contain it is what we as a people, that's what makes us leaders. And I would rather call on Eastern leaders, Southeast leaders, everywhere we are, to come up and talk to our people, definitely. Nnamdi Kanu must free. You remember, Nelson Mandela was there for 27 years. And he came out and became president. Life was going on for that 27 years until he came out. It was effectively managed. The apartheid regime was able to dismember and disorganize the African Congress. And then for those number of years, the apartheid reigned supreme. One day, apartheid collapsed. And when it collapsed, Nelson Mandela was released. And upon release, he marched to become the president. So these are things we must tell our people, that Nnamdi Kanu being incarcerated or being sentenced for life does not mean that he's going to die there. It does not mean, of course, this is just the court of first instance. He will appeal, definitely. The appeal will, from there, possibly go to Supreme Court. And while this thing is going on, political options are being negotiated. And even if the worst case scenario, the Supreme Court, at the end of the day, they say, okay, he will still go in for life, we will know that there is judgment of the court and there is judgment of God. Which means somebody sentenced to life today may end up stay there for just 1 year. It has happened. That's when the God factor come in. Everything, like I say, is political. The president has just released granted amnesty to even Boko Haram extremists who were jailed, who were sentenced. Some of them were even sentenced for life. Some of them were incarcerated for some time. Then a certain president has come in and not only releasing them, but giving them amnesty. The same day, if this president don't do it, which I'm sure he may do it before 2027. But if this president don't do it, there will be a president that will come and say, no, Nnamdi Kanu will not be there. After all, he doesn't deserve to be there. There must have been error in judgment. And because this error has come, I, as the president, I will not only release Nnamdi Kanu, but I will set him free by granting him amnesty. This is possible, and this is what we will tell our people as leaders, so that they will not take laws into their hand. Because what the system wants is to provoke the Southeasterners the more. If we provoke them the more, the Southeasterners will react. The Nzobu factor must be curtailed. We will tell our people that this Nzobu factor must be curtailed. Onye ndị iro gbara gburugburu na-eche ndụ ya nche mgbe niile. If you have enemies surrounding you, you must have to manage yourself. We as leaders.
Can you hear me, Doctor?
Yes, I can hear you.
Doctor, can you hear me? Do I have your attention?
Yeah,
you had just mentioned that this could actually, upset the Southeasterners. Now, what are the security implications for the Southeast? With this being said, we remember that some time ago we always had the sit-at-home policy that went on every Monday, and some days that whenever he goes to court. Just in a nutshell, what's going to be the security implications in the Southeast?
What I said that this situation may upset the Southeast. It may not upset it. There's every likelihood that it will upset it. But I'm waiting for us talking about what leaders do by making sure that we are at this level be able to try to stop it early before it will progress. If we keep quiet and not doing something, it will in fact manifest more. But we must actually use the next Mandela option to be able to tell the youth and the IPO family that it's not the end of the day. A freedom fighter or a person who is pursuing self-determination, we know that it's a marathon. You can be, when you set out to do it, you know that there are two things that are possible. You may be killed or go to jail, or you may succeed and become a leader. In some cases, the option for that is that they're not dealing him. But there's a possibility that the process of being judged, one day there will be a pharaoh that may know Joseph, and that pharaoh may stand free. And that is why I'm telling us that we will tell you that we should not allow carrot fight to our own time. Sit-at-home alone is taking us to billions of naira every month. They will lose billions of naira. The economy of Southeast actually between 2015 and now has nosedived. By 2015, Southeast, in terms of GDP, was the second largest in Nigeria. We are just next to Southwest. But today, my sister, the Southeast is number 4. We are only head of North Central and Northeast, ravaged by Boko Haram. And as I speak to you, North Central is at the hills chasing us. They may overtake us any moment from now. That would be fortunate. That would now be the 5th economy in terms of in Nigeria, these geopolitical zones. So that makes doom and great impact to us. So we must, as a people, make our people to know that we must apply so many options. Land must be free. Let it be on at the background at the government that we will be free. We will not go to kill ourselves, destroy ourselves. But like I said, they want us to make mistakes, and we should not allow to make mistakes.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ifedi Okwenna. Thank you for joining us this morning and also contributing to these particular subject matter. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
All right. Pleasure is ours as well. Our guest was Dr. Ifedi Okwenna, who is the Executive Secretary, Southeast Business Investment Summit Group. And of course, he joined us to talk about the Nnamdi Kanu's conviction and what is next as he is going to appeal Of course, this is where we draw the curtains for Signature Morning. In the Enugu studio, we are moving over to Abuja to continue the Signature Morning show. As always, don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. We are always live on YouTube 247 and on SLTV Channel 265. I am Quinsley Rowland.
And I am Okwenna Chimdi Olua. It's a pleasure to have you join us. Good morning.